Hey Josh, okay, so here's your assignment. And again, I just want to apologize to you one more time that I was not able to get back to your question. I realize how urgent and frustrated it was and how urgent and frustrating it must have felt. But I logged off at about like 3:50 p.m. on Friday, and I had to leave town. I was supposed to have internet access where I was going. When I got there, I found out I didn't. And I wasn't able to log back on until about 4 p.m. on Sunday, so I'm so sorry. Sometimes this happens. I am allowed 48 hours on weekends before I get back to questions. However, in my opinion, it's somewhat rude of me to do that the first week. Later on in the term, I don't have any problem with it, but the first week, I really try, and almost always do get back to people within 24 hours all week long. But I just couldn't. I had an urgent thing I had to take care of, and I didn't know that there wouldn't be internet there. I'm so sorry. Anyways, your assignment is not all fuddled up. You're fine. Everything's okay. It looks like you understood bracketing, and that was part one of this assignment, and part two was choosing a white balance that felt nostalgic to you. Now, nostalgic, of course, is looking fondly at the past in a way that is idealized. So it's generally we consider it a good condition. To be nostalgic is not definitely, but we kind of arbitrarily assign it positive emotions. And we read in the lecture and in the text this week all about Kelvin temperatures and the Kelvin temperature scale. And we also read that human beings respond warmly, emotionally warmly, or better. They have better feelings when they are in light sources that are rated at Kelvin temperatures that are kind of on the cooler side of things, which feel warmer to us. So the cooler side of things would be Kelvin temperatures like 4,500 and below, down to about 3,000, which is going to be, light early or late in the day, sunlight early or late in the day, or incandescent light, or light with some sort of warming filter on it. So that's what we would expect. Now, of course, everybody's different, and people have different ideas about what feels good. So you chose a white balance that you thought made you feel good. And it says here that you chose, it says here that you went with direct sunlight. Now, I don't know if you chose a white balance for direct sunlight or if you actually were shooting your subject matter in direct sunlight. It looks like you were setting your white balance to some auto setting for direct sunlight. And it says here that made you feel good, so you liked it, and that's what you did. That's fine. And it also says that you found that other auto settings, or presets, we'll call them presets, kind of turned the images bluish, and that you didn't have a good response to that, so you didn't choose that. That makes sense. Sounds like you were rather frustrated with this. I'm going through your write-up, and you could tell you were frustrated. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. Typically, I don't take even 24 hours to get back to people. I usually get back to people within 16, but there's nothing I can do about it. I really hope that you're understanding about that. So I guess I would have expected you to choose something a little bit warmer. Best case scenario for this assignment, people bracket, which you did, thank you, and then people choose a white balance manually on their camera, providing their camera allows that. I know my camera will allow me to actually go in and set numerically my Kelvin temperature. And after years and years of shooting and observing light sources, it's easy for me to do this. So I oftentimes will just go in to my my white balance controls, and I will set things to, like, say somewhere around 43 or 4800, because it's going to be a little bit warmer and feel, I know that's opposite language of what the text wants us to say, but it feels warmer, and it makes people a little bit more comfortable to get rid of all the blue light. But in this assignment, I think it's okay if you use the presets. And then, like I said, a lot of cameras won't allow you to go in and numerically set your Kelvin white balance. But that's what this is about. It's about Kelvin temperature. Anyways, off of your contact sheets onto your finals. They look good. This is a really lovely shot. I love the depth of field here. It's extremely effective. It's not too bluish. It feels fine. Same here. And this one I like a little bit more because the reds are a bit more saturated. I'm kind of a sucker for that. This is fine. I would say it's a little bluish. I could have had it warmer, but the composition is fine. It might be more interesting if you weren't standing above your subject matter, you were more on eyes level with it. And if you found a setting that was a little bit less, like, can I say clinical? I don't know. And then this close-up is actually gorgeous. This is really nice with these nice deep shadows here. And then I love that we can read all of this information on this bottle. That's really lovely. And then this is a bit of a darker exposure, but it feels appropriate for the subject matter. It's fine. I mean, these are fine. I have no real criticism. It looks like you're shooting them in available window light because it's quite directional, and that feels right for this as well. Very strong directional light. This is a little bit more ambient, you know, kind of everywhere, lights bouncing everywhere, but it still feels pretty good. I mean, I think the assignment's a success for you. And now, just so you know, MIE is meter indicated exposure. I know in my email I said meter incident exposure, and as it's not an official acronym in the world of photography, it's something that somebody at AI put in there at some point. Let's just go with meter indicated exposure, because then we can use that acronym for either reflected or incident mode. And also, as an aside, I remember a long time ago, the first time I taught this class, and I saw MIE for the first time, and I'm like, really? Really? People just make up acronyms and expect us to know what they mean? I hate acronyms. I do. I don't use them. And I don't use them. I just don't. You know what? If you can't write out the whole word, maybe you shouldn't be using it, right? Anyways, I think this is pretty successful. Thank you, Josh. And again, I apologize oh so much for not getting back to you sooner, but the circumstances just prohibited me from doing so, and I hopefully that won't happen again the rest of the class. Thank you.